I wanted to do a quick little video of a little flip through of my Orthodox Study Bible. I'm currently trying to, this is all old stuff that was in that tote that matches this. It was actually a planner case cover, but I'm using it as a Bible cover. And that was the very first Bible study tote I ever had from 6 years ago. And I don't know, I do like this, but I don't know how me it is anymore. That was my very first one, and I still am very drawn to it. So I'm thinking about switching to that one. Anyway, it doesn't matter because I'm not talking about that right now. I'm talking about this. So this is the Orthodox Study Bible. Real quick, in this little tote, I just keep some highlighters in there. Just some bookmarks I got from a monastery, St. John's Monastery in Goldendale, Washington. A sticker from an Orthodox shop. There's a picture of me and my husband on our 3rd anniversary. I've got some stickers and note pages and sticky notes and stuff. And then I've got highlighters and pens for a color coding system in here that I will show you in a second that I use. I don't know how effective it is. It really just helps me kind of focus on what I'm reading in the moment. But anyway, and then a little prayer journal that I keep back there too that I've never used. It just came to my church and nobody wanted it, so I got it. It's from the International Orthodox Christian Charities. But anyway, okay, so here's the Orthodox Study Bible. I don't know where this little black mark came from, but it's there. I got my name engraved in it. This is the leather bound one. It's the Ancient Faith edition. There you go. If you're not familiar with this Bible, it is, obviously the Orthodox Study Bible, and it's got the Old Testament is, I want to say it's translated from the Greek Septuagint. Don't quote me on that. It's in the explanation of the Bible, and then the New Testament is the New King James translation. So anyway, I was actually talking to my priest, and he said that probably the closest thing to an actual Orthodox translation is the King James. But I'm actually grateful that this is the New King James because, for a couple of reasons. One, I love the romantic language of the King James, but I do, I don't even know if I would say I struggle to read it because I don't. I love that. But I would say that most of the vocabulary in the New King James I'm at least somewhat familiar with. So there's that. But then on the other hand, the King James does not capitalize the pronouns for God, for, the Trinity, like when it's talking about he, his. It does not, the King James does not capitalize those pronouns, and that drives me crazy. Whereas the New King James does, and I would rather have those pronouns capitalized because I just think that's important. Anyway, quick flip through. I'm obviously not going to flip through every page because it's, the Bible, but, so this is a color coding system I had. You'll see in here, pre-Orthodoxy, I never liked study Bibles. I liked just a plain Bible. Now, as an Orthodox Christian, I cannot imagine reading the Bible without some kind of commentary from the church or the church fathers. It just doesn't even make sense to me to read it without it anymore. So anyway, for the scriptures themselves, I have this color code. And then for the footnotes and the articles in the Bible, the articles, which I'll show you later, are these just informational pages. I have a slightly different color code just because to kind of differentiate it. Like I said, I use this color code still. It helps me to kind of, participate, but interact with what I'm reading. And it does help me focus. I don't really use them to go back, though. I don't use the color code to go back and study or anything. It's really just for while I am reading it. When I go back through and reread sections, it doesn't have an effect on me, and it still kind of helps me focus on things, but it's just kind of something I do. I don't actually know how long I'll continue doing that, but it works, and I do kind of like that everything in here so far follows this, so that's nice. Anyway, this is an icon I just taped in here. It was like a cardstock icon from a monastery or something. This is a tip-in I did of Father Thomas Hopko's 55 Maxims. I think I got this off of Pinterest. Just some quotes from saints. An I voted sticker, cool. Orthodox Study Bible. My name was on here and I messed it up and I didn't want to white it out, so I covered it with this other little church card. These are just some verses I like, kind of like focus verses for my life that I carried over from Protestantism just because they still matter a lot to me. Quotes and stickers and stuff from just time. The little Mario girls from all the, Nintendo, they remind me of my son. There's our baptismal chrismation and marriage blessing date with Theophany 2019. Anyway, so just some quotes, aired stickers and such. This was something I got off of Pinterest too, verses for my marriage, verses for my motherhood. Ways to be a holy woman, that kind of thing. Okay, so I highlighted these. I've read the whole Bible in a year before, but I wanted it to be specific to the OSB, because there are some books in here I've never read because they're not in a Protestant Bible. So I highlight the ones that I've read in full in this Bible. I also think I hear some steps. My husband is working in the office and my son is having some playtime, so I don't think they know I'm in here doing this, so they'll probably interrupt me at some point. But this is, a quote. My goal for reading the Bible is from St. Mark the Ascetic. A humble man who lives a spiritual life, when he reads the Holy Scriptures, will relate all things to himself and not to others. I will be working on that for the rest of my life. Okay, so this is kind of like your introduction to the Orthodox Study Bible, overview, all that stuff. It's, it is what it is. Okay, then we get to the Old Testament. I taped in an icon of Christ because the whole Old Testament points to Christ, and Christ is present in the Old Testament. Real quick, these tabs are Catholic Bible tabs, and obviously a lot of them do work for the Orthodox Study Bible, but some of them I adjusted by putting washi tape on and then just use my label maker to label for that. So that's these, and then these, I think I got these from I want to say Michael's or whatever, like a few years back when they had a lot of when Bible journaling was like really big, and these were like American Craft Bible, like blank Bible tabs or whatever. And I did all the articles, I tabbed them so that if I ever wanted to study sacrifice, I could just go to the sacrifice one. And oh my gosh, if I can open it with one hand. And it's right there. And read about sacrifice, right? So obviously that's what that is. Pretty self-explanatory. So I just have little paper things throughout. I am not, speaking of Bible journaling too, I'm not into Bible journaling in the decorative. Well, obviously I decorate a little bit, but I mean the big painting your pages. If that's what you're into, that's cool. To me, and I like artsy stuff, but to me that just never, and not even because I'm against writing in your Bible. Obviously I'm not, but I don't know. It just seemed a little, I don't know, trendy to me. I've always kind of done stuff like this in my Bibles, but the Bible journaling just seemed, I don't know. I guess it just seemed like a lot of people did the same things, and it just didn't. I don't know. That was just me being opinionated. It doesn't matter. Okay, so anyway, but I am into highlighting and taking notes in my Bible when I can, and obviously there's not a lot of space for that in here, but that's where tip-ins come in, which I'm trying to find an example. I do flowers, pressed flowers, that when I find, this was a lilac, I believe, that I found here in town. I've got some different ones. There are also icons throughout this Bible. Full color icons back and front. I want to say there's 20, give or take. There might be a few less than that. I'm not sure. Okay, I am trying to find, like this. So this is a tip-in where I just taped it in here. I guess this would be considered a tip-in. Sometimes tip-ins fold out of the book, but I guess they're both the same. So, I write some things, a lot of these are just already written in either the scripture or the notes, but I want them to stand out a bit more because it, whether it was something that applied to me in that moment or whatever. So, but it always comes out of here or something from the church fathers or something like that. Let's see. Be a virtuous wife. I love that girl from the Happy Planners. Not Happy Planner. Agenda 52, Paper Studio, Hobby Lobby. They had a line with these girls, and I really liked that girl. Another little tip-in thing. I love, there's a quote on that one that I really love. I did not come up with this. I think this is something that's written down here in one of these notes, but it says, I will find my true self in loving my neighbor. And I just think that's great. There's some more flowers. Anyway, so you kind of get the gist. when there's more space at the end of something or on one of these, what are these called? I keep saying articles or, info pages. I, write there a little bit. I write more, maybe include more in there. So it's just kind of a quick overview of bay leaf, armor of God. Where was the New Testament? I think I decorated that page somehow. Oh, Mother Teresa. She is not an Orthodox saint, obviously, or an Orthodox person, but I do like. I know she's kind of a controversial figure nowadays too. People tend to think she was not as. I don't know. I don't know the story, to be honest. I just know that some people think she's a little controversial. So what is this one? But all that to say, I like Mother Teresa just fine. I don't know the information, the accusations against her, and to be honest, I don't care to, not because I want to avoid truth. I just, no, whatever. Anyway. Oh, these are lyrics to a song from Brian and Jen Johnson of Bethel Music. Bethel is a church in Redding, California, a very charismatic Protestant church that I would not recommend any of their teachings. But I obviously liked this song. What was it? Oh, I remember this song. I'll have to re-look through that and maybe double check and see if it's scripturally and or not even just scripturally, but just sound in terms of the church itself. But the Orthodox Church, I mean. But this is, so like here, I write little notes. This is in the book of Jonah. Actually, that's probably why I put this here. Because it's very much, the song was very much about like loving other people. And this says, every so often I find myself, I wrote this last year, every so often I find myself returning to the book of Jonah and the first letter of John. It's usually when I'm struggling with judgment, irritability, pride, and a general lack of love, mercy, grace, and compassion. They are two of my favorites. That is true, and they always help me kind of get myself back on track when I am struggling a lot with judgment and pride and that kind of thing. Anyway, so this is basically it. This is all there is to it, really. I think in the back I've got a couple things. Oh, this is a Kleenex from actually just a few months ago. My husband and I went to a monastery with our parish, St. Tikhon's Monastery, actually, in Pennsylvania. And the abbot there, my priest was wonderful enough to, my husband and I, we had my son, then we had a miscarriage, and we have struggled with infertility ever since. And we would like to have more children. And we, so my priest was kind enough to arrange a meeting with the abbot of St. Tikhon's, Father Sergius, who brought us into the miracle working icon of St. Anna, who I think I actually have the icon in here somewhere, but if not, it's kind of this is a printing of it. So anyway, we prayed before that miracle working icon, and this was the Kleenex I had to like wipe my tears. And to me, I don't know, it was just kind of special to me. Maybe that's silly to some, but to me it's not. And it still kind of smells like the rose oil to me. And that's just special to me. So anyway, I keep that in there. I'll probably washi tape it in so it doesn't fall out. And then obviously the maps. I've got a prayer to end abortion. Prayers in time of need. My son on his first Christmas. A little Bible study thing. Timeline of church history. If you're not familiar with the timeline of church history, this is the Orthodox Church. This whole big gray line. It's just been very steady throughout history. And right about here is when there was the Great Schism and the Roman Catholic Church broke away from the Orthodox Church. And then all the Protestant and subsequent denominations and groups of Christians have broken off of Catholicism, which originally broke off of Orthodoxy. Well, not even just Orthodox, the church. I mean, it was and still is the Apostolic Church. But then again, the Catholic Church broke off, or rather a portion broke off and became the Catholic Church. And then the Protestant Reformation happened. So you have all the Protestant groups coming, and then all of the, offshoots of even Protestantism, like Mormonism and Jehovah's Witness. And so they all broke off from Protestantism, which broke off from Catholicism, which broke off from the church. So anyway, I love that. Anyway, so this is just a quick little flip through of my Orthodox Study Bible. I am currently, I guess I just wanted to kind of show it because there's not a lot out there about it that I found on YouTube. There's a couple reviews of it, but no like flip throughs like this of it. And so I just wanted to show you, if you are Orthodox or looking into getting this Bible, just kind of how you can still make it your own, with highlighting, and you can still find ways to, oh, pretty. I think this came from some flowers I got from my sister when we first moved into our house. Ways that you can add little notes here and there. You can always add tip-ins or little just pictures or things like that, to, just, I don't know, make it kind of special. I mean, it's already special, but you know what I mean. Like, make it just something you can interact with a little bit more personally. Even though, I've really come to learn in Orthodoxy, our relationship with God is personal but not private. And that's very big to me now. That's why, like I said earlier, like I used to hate footnotes in Bibles. If Bibles had footnotes, I would not even get them. I don't think I ever owned a study Bible as a Protestant. Because, it's just God speaking to me, right? So I never needed one. But now, like I said, I can't fathom, and I'm not knocking anybody for reading a Bible without notes. I personally can't fathom myself reading a Bible without the instructions or the guidance or the interpretation of the church as a whole, and the church fathers. So anyway, that is my copy of the Orthodox Study Bible. My husband has the same one. It has nothing in it. So you also don't have to, it's just the Bible. He has no highlights or markings or anything in it. No tabs. You can keep it like that too. I already showed you these. So yeah, this is what I keep it in. It's great for traveling. I am debating keeping it in here though. Like I said, kind of at the beginning, I'm trying to decide. I'm in the process of cleaning and organizing my room. And so this is like our chair over here. And I really want this area to be like my little morning time area with I want to keep that or that, whichever one I decide, over here. So I can just, in the morning or even in the afternoon, I can come here with either my morning coffee or my afternoon coffee and just be with the Lord, read the Bible, journal, that kind of thing. There's this is not our main icon corner, but it's the one my husband and I have in our room. And, yeah, so I love that. Anyway, so yeah, just wanted to share this with you. And again, eventually I may be moving this out of this case and into one of those. Probably that one I'm leaning towards, but I don't know. I also like knowing it's protected. But again, I don't know. I'm home all the time. I don't ever go anywhere. And the truth is, I kind of like, what's the verse that a Bible's, or not, excuse me, it's not a verse. It is a quote. A Bible that's falling apart belongs to someone who isn't. So there's a part of me that doesn't mind if it gets a little messy or banged up by any means, because I want it out and about. I want it's easier to just grab. This isn't even a big deal, but I like having it out and about. So anyway, all of that to say, this video is almost 20 minutes long now, so I will stop here. But I just wanted to show you the flip through of my copy of the Orthodox Study Bible. Thanks so much, and have a great day.